Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect. Today's beverage is a very nice rooibos or red bush tea. So welcome back to the game, and in the previous episode we blitzed the building of the death row here. We have 6 death row cells, which is more than we need, but you know, we sort of build to a bit of a aspiration, I guess. We've also have the execution and the parole, which is actually death row appeal. Speaking of parole, we are running that as well, and we spent a fair bit of money on just putting in things like some flooring over here because, well, we hadn't done it, and it's worthy of cracking on with. Some guards on break here that just like staring at some rat traps apparently, because this is not good enough. Anyway, we are getting some more inmates. There's some prisoner intake there, and then we're spending lots of money on food. The problem we had is that we had a couple of inmates who came back to the facility. Each one of those had reoffended, which is a $5,000 fine. So we've had series previously where we're cycling through a lot of inmates. Yeah, this is not that, but when it goes wrong, because we've got things like average reoffending rate 46%, you know, the chances are that we're basically going to get fined. And we've also had in the past where we've run out of money and we can't afford food and things like that. It's not good. It's not good at all. But let's see how we get on. And I've noticed a couple of things. Firstly, we want to go through and check out to see which inmates we can change to supermax and change one of these other things over to supermax to try and get more inmates that way. And also, Tim here has now went through the process of the execution liability. They've done it at least twice. Failed it twice. Death row appeal. Failed twice. Likelihood of clemency is 8%. It's in the green. So we know what's going on tonight. Assuming the power grid will handle it, because we've not really got a huge robust power grid. I mean, it's good, and it's charging batteries and that sort of thing, but we haven't yet tested it in anger. Okay, anyway, let's go to informants, and what I want to do is anyone that is of, say, like, if I've got extreme traits, so extremely something, they're going to have their skilled fight, that's probably one as well. They're going to have their category changed. And extremely tough. We've got they've got extremely something here. What is it? It's just extremely tough as well. What are we on for inmates now? 13. We need to have one more. Let's go with this guy, skilled fighter. So over to supermax. And we probably haven't got... are we going to be... Oh no, we should be okay. Supermax. We change all this to supermax. And all of these bits. And all of these bits. And there we go. Maximum capacity is 12. Supermax capacity is 60. We actually have 55 inmates. So all this is now set. So obviously the inmates are going to have to shuffle around, but it means we're getting 5 more supermax inmates. So that's all good. Yes. Right. Well, it's eat time. Once it goes to sleep time, we'll be going through the process. There's Pigeon again. Oh! We killed Rocket the doggo. I will have to get another doggo. Right. Sleep time. Deaths today 0. Fairly confident that's not 0. Right. So. Tim here. Schedule execution. Execution initiated. Completed. Initialize prison-wide lockdown. Completed. Test facility. This is the potentially sticky wicket. Is it going to blow the grid? 50% of the test complete. 75. Completed. It works. Assemble execution detail and escort the witnesses to the facility. So, execution detail. It's the warden and the chief make their way down. And unlike a lot of death row, sort of the whole process, they're actually relatively close to the facility. A lot of the times we've had, say, a staff-only area on the right and then death row on the very left of the facility, or whatever it happens to be, the opposite end, and it takes them a while to get there. The witnesses, I'll have to see who they are. We've got here's priest, here's victim's family, here's mother, here's father, here's wife, his victim's family. So it's the victim's family and his mother and father. Not like the 16 daughters or whatever they have. Oh yeah. That's a bit of a problem. That's open now, it's fine. And they go in there. His father, victim's family, his wife. Just waiting for this to finish up. So what happens is the priest, the chief and the warden all meet up with here. We now escort them to the facility. Should point out that it is generally accepted when you build, you put the execution room close to the death row inmate's cell. You don't have to. There's no reason why you have to do that. You can put it wherever you want. It's just, you know, makes sense to have it close. Looks like the warden is leading this. That ominous music. The warden sadly does not have a set of keys. I think maybe some door servos on that, but that might feel a bit off, having it like a quick automated system. So, prisoner here, prisoner number 209000167, execution has been authorised. And there it is. We will dismiss staff and witnesses. And we will check out the report. Mandated execution of Tim here was carried out at 3:02 as scheduled by electric chair. The presence of witnesses, the standard compensation of 10,000 is awarded to the institution for their part in the process. And I will spend some of that money on fixing the flooring. And there we go. Okay. Let's not put that in. Let's put in probably some more wind solar hybrids. When I say more, I mean I can afford two. There we are. So yeah, that's the process. I can remember when they first added that in some sort of alpha. Can't remember exactly which one. And oh, there we go. We got another death row inmate arriving. But there's also some other inmates. Extremely something. Yeah, extremely tough and unknown. Paul Pennington. Are they a returning inmate? Have we definitely seen Penningtons? It might be as well. Hang on a second. Bishop Piddock. Doesn't say. But Cox was sent back to your prison. They become more dangerous with increased stints. Let's go with security. Dangerous. Everybody's dangerous, apparently. Default and vulnerable. Everyone's just dangerous. Yeah, okay. That's how it is, I guess. Over to wind solar hybrids. It'd be rude not to finish that off. And that'll get our export meter up as well. We do still have 3 grants, but it's not going to happen. We're not going to manufacture any license plates. We're not going to reduce reoffending rate. Not a chance. It's dropped down a couple of points, though. And we're not going to get any more capacity. Raise the capacity to 100. I mean, I could do that. I could actually do cell block C. The way you do it, I think, is by picking up the small cells for 10,000. And then in this area here, basically make something like that. Because each cell needs to be legitimate. So you'd have that, and you'd have a bed and a toilet. You might be able to save even more space, actually. Bed and a... hang on. How would we do this? Would it have to be the beds and a toilet? And then a wall would go along like that. Like that. And would it be something like that? Is that just taking up more space? That and that? You could, yeah, I mean, you could do it. I'm not gonna. I'm not even going to pick up the grant. How's parole doing? Programs. Guard taser we could probably run with, actually. Fire that up. And all of these have finished, apparently. So we'll stop that. Death row appeal, we're going to keep running on that one. We'll get those to staff only. Alright. So, like I said, just on the management side of it now, in terms of needs, the only one that constantly is brought up is this freedom need. Facilitate this by adding some free time and yard time to our regime. Prisoners also facilitate need via specialised means, either through farming, fight clubs, or the cinema room. I have both of the... Yeah, I have fight clubs and I have cinema rooms. We don't have laundry because we're not getting it. So, curious. We have another inmate. This is... Prisoner Letter. No. This is Prisoner Gareth Weston, prisoner number 22094933, sentenced to 67 years for multiple crimes including murder, torture and armed robbery, and they've had previous convictions of kidnapping and violent disorder. Likelihood of clemency is 44%, so that, you know, the chances are that they could move over to the supermax. We just have to see how they get on with that one. Character is a dealer and a supplier. So we have to obviously account for that. Not that I think there's anything we really need to do. He was able to get the best deal from contraband trading. They can't trade as a death row inmate and supplier. They can produce narcotics. There is nothing on the nothing in the map that can actually supply those things. So actually, not really bothered. Okay. So, in terms of our staff, we still have 12 maximum security inmates. Let's have a look at said inmates. And, I mean, something like this one here, strong, extremely tough, instigator. They probably should be set to supermax. That's one thing I wanted to check as well. So we have a death row inmate that has got, I believe, a 67-year total conviction. I want to see if there's anyone else that's got more than that, but is not on death row. I've got 25 years. I think it was a 40-odd years over there. Was that 46? 46 is our record. 100... Okay. So Paul Palmer... How long? Paul Palmer, prisoner number 13... Sorry, Paul Palmer, he's got 118 years. His prisoner number should be 1. He was Genesis. He was first prisoner. Paul Palmer, age 66, prisoner number 133622831, sentenced to 118 years for multiple crimes, including attempted murder, violent disorder, and another bit of murder. Yeah. He's also done time for manslaughter and trafficking. Stokel and deadly. Right, that didn't take long, did it? My plan was to go through and see if I can find, hopefully, someone who's got just a little bit more than the death row inmate. It didn't take that long, and there's another one. There's Tom Ward, 72 years. We've got 14 there, 25 years. Paul Timms is almost about to leave, actually, as is that person. 78 years for John Mathwani. We've got 56 years. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's... And there's 93 years, 63 years. It just seems to be a bit, like, off. Anyway. I don't know how the whole death row thing really works. As in... I assume you don't get put on death row for a million counts of petty theft. It's more a couple of serious crimes or more. Anyway, what was exports last night? It was off the chart, so I can't see. Alright. Prisoners are getting angry. You wouldn't like them when they're angry. No, but there's not much I can really do about it. So long term then, I guess we need the fencing put in. We need fencing. Long-term fencing. And the same around here. I definitely want a perimeter wall. An actual proper perimeter wall with perimeter wall and snipers. Problem with that is cash. It's cash again. So there is a couple of quick ways to make money. I could change all of this around here to forestry. It could be done, and it would be very easy to do so. Another way would be to basically copy this here, and here, and here, and then at the bottom as well, and just export 20 grand of power per day. But 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. The current system costs about 130,000 to implement. Which is, I mean, it's a lot of money. You see financial compensation is going up there. We can only export a maximum of 5,000, I believe. Let's have a quick look. Where is it actually? It's in grants and green energy. Power export, nearly 4,000. Yeah, power export cap is increased to 5,000. The only other goal we can do is green energy goal 6, which isn't going to happen. Other grants that we could potentially get, criminally insane, I'm just going to rule it out for this build. But I am tempted to start a series with that, actually. Bakery, basic farming, restaurant, reform prisoner initiative. Actually, the reform prisoner initiative is probably the one we're closest to getting. But it means I have to drop something. If I drop prisoner reoffending rate, I have to have a repayment of 15,000. And a fine of 1,500. Manufacturing is a repayment of 20,000 and a fine of 2, and cell block C is only 11. So it'll be 16.5, 22 or 11, and 39 prisoners have been released. So I could get rid of cell block C for 11 grand, and then pick up reform prisoner initiative, achieve 100 reform prisoners after release. It gives us 10 grand advance payment, so actually we're only negative a grand. But that's the third grant that we pick up, so every time we save and load, it's going to kick that off, or kick one of them off. Alright. Well, let's put in a bit more flooring around here and get this area pretty much completed, I would say. I don't know if I'll be able to afford to get it all done. I'm hoping I can. That's the plan anyway. And this is just a bit cosmetic. We don't need to do this. But then again, I've been wanting to sort of build this for a while. So corner pieces there. Have I missed out these bits? Yes, indeed. And then the internal sections. That one and that one. Sometimes it's just easy going back over and not worrying about the bits like that. I can go in, cycle through that one too quickly. That one and that one. And that one. And that one and that one. With these going in to a nice flowery field. Because the doggos deserve it. Although I don't know if the doggos have got hay fever. Hopefully not. There's a bit of money there. And, oh, building over here is going to be a problem. Because almost certainly they're never going to be able to put it on the water pump. Let's see what happens. Is that one ordered? It is now. Do I put in some access there? I don't think we need it. No, I don't think we need it. Security, brown carpet, armory. I do like the grates. It's quite nice. And that should be that one, I think, pretty much done. There's not much going on here in this middle bit. If I was to redesign this whole thing again, this was a sort of afterthought. We built here and then realised we had to rush over to the other side. I would shrink this right down. Similar thing for this one. Staff room would be changed up massively. Speaking of staff room, a couple of pool tables. Maybe table tennis in here. The odd water cooler. We've got coffee tables, but I can sort of put one in front of there. Maybe. Don't we need coffee there? It says bookcases, but you don't really need them. You don't need them in here. We've got arcades. Maybe one of those in there. Just to, you know, put a little bit extra in there. Oh, that's actually all being put in correctly, I think. So, that's good. We haven't got any walkways around here. Do I put the walkways in? I think maybe. In deliveries, just to increase the speed of which they can get. I'm going to do that one. Stuff to and from certain areas. So it's going to be along here. And up. To there. And that one. Then the corner pieces. Like that. That one. That one. That one. Actually, that one's a bit different. Now, this might be a bit of a mistake, putting it in here, because forestry is near the tiles, and sometimes when stuff is near the tiles, it's going to remove them. So I'll do that so they don't overplant. Again, cutting down our profits as well as the trees, sadly. But not too much of a problem. And then more flooring. It's becoming a bit of a concrete place, isn't it? Just going to double check the staff only areas that are still set staff only. Yeah, that does appear to be pretty much fine. Punishment at 8, reform at 1, security at 3, health at 1. But it's more of a 6 out of 10. Reoffending rate 16%, 39 prisoners have been released. Out of the 17 paroled early, 5% have reoffended. And we've only had... Oh, hang on, stop. I don't laugh at what just happened. I'm amused by the sequence in which it did. You may not have noticed, but I was going through prison grading. I was just about to read staff fatalities. It said 2, and I didn't start the sentence before it said 3. And yep, we've had a staff fatality. Riley. Is someone able to come and heal them? Any medics? Guard response? No. No. Sadly not. Well, there you go. Curious. Alright, well, we're going to leave it there for now. That's been a bit of prison architect. We have another death row inmate arriving. And we do have prisoner Weston here. But it doesn't say what their... Ah, that's why. So this guy here, Gareth Weston, I was going to say, it doesn't show what their percentage chance is, but they're now a maximum security inmate. Alright. Which means that maximum security is 11. Supermax is 60. Oh, so they are actually going to be brought over. Doesn't matter then. That's fine. Intake-wise, we don't have intake. We have intake on Supermax and Death Row, but none on Max Sec. So they've been put over to Max Sec and they'll be moved to here. That's fine then. Eventually, once this area is almost empty, we will look at changing this over to Supermax, and then the whole prison will be Supermax. But we're leaving it there for now. that's been a bit of prison architect. We've spent a bit of money on flooring. Temporary permanent parole is still where it is. The Windsole hybrids are in. We've obviously improved a lot of this area, which is good. Needs seem to be alright. Daily cash flow is also pretty good. We're going to get another death row inmate. In fact, I think they're in now, or they'll be in shortly. In fact, there they are. That is Duncan Williams. We'll have a look at them next episode. 41% chance. I think it's the likelihood of clemency. Yeah. And yeah, we'll see how we get on. I'm curious as to what the choices are for these fences and the sniper towers. What I mean by that is, it's just a waiting game. It is just a waiting game. We can sit here and every day we get about 11,000, plus or minus. I could probably do some hiring and firing to change that up. We can also sell some shares. Only one set of shares, 10%, in a moment anyway. And that'll give us, I think it was 50 odd. Let's call it 60,000. That's still only one section of wall. Perimeter wall. To do that one section at the top is 27,000. So 50, 60, 70, 85, 100, 125, 140. Let's call it 150,000 is what it's going to cost. Do we just sit for 14 in-game days plus or minus to get that, or do I just put the money in? What I'm saying is, are people opposed to the odd little hack, and we get the money in, we finish it off? Because it's done. Well, I mean, it is pretty much done. Let me know what you think in the comments. Objections will be noted. Hope you have enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.